Peace. This is a meat and potato social production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is: do Romans control Jesus Christ? One word that I will provide is this: absolutely. And I would like to give some scholarship that will back up my assertion. We have to start first with the Julio Claudian Roman dynasty, which ruled for over 100 years. And this began with Julius Caesar. Then we have to factor in Augustus Caesar, who was the ruler at the time of the birth of Christ. Then there's Tiberius. Tiberius was around during the death of Jesus. But this is where it gets interesting. We have to bring in the last of that line, and that's Nero. Now, the Jews were occupying that country, and Rome at that time was going broke. And what had happened was, one thing the Romans understood, even though the Jews were in the minority, they understood this one thing: you cannot kill a belief or idea, but you can control it. Because when they conquered Kemet, the Romans had saw firsthand this Jesus that you talk so glowingly about. We've seen him before. His name in Kemet was known as Horus. So they seen this before. So they say, okay, we can't kill it, but we're going to control it. Now, there's a general that Nero had, Vespasian, along with his son Titus. The Jews, when they talked to Nero, they said, we're not worshiping no God other than Jesus. And that's when Nero was like, okay, I guess an example would have to be made. And at this time, Vespasian and his son, they were over destroying the Druids. They wiped out everything about them, including their esoteric knowledge. So then Nero was like getting him to get back. Vespasian came at the right time, because again, the Jews were going to take over. But this was what Nero didn't count on. The Roman Senate was like, we can't do it. Nero's driving us in the ground. And Nero, as a consequence, had committed suicide. So Vespasian, the general, he came to power. Now a new dynasty was emerging with him and his son Titus. And this began in 73 of the Christian or Common Era. So basically, Jesus came from the line of David. And David was talking about crucifixion in the 22nd Psalm. Jesus was supposed to be a warrior just like David. But Vespasian and Titus had other ideas. And how did they get those ideas off the ground? Very easy. They recruited one of their own, Jews, amongst them. His name is Josephus, and adopted him in the family and gave him the title of Flavius Josephus. So this is when Jesus was transmogrified with Josephus' help and other Jewish scholars and rabbis. So then he became peace-loving and meek. And don't you think it's odd? Even in the Bible, it says, render unto Caesar's what is his. It's telling you. So they had control over Jesus, and Vespasian, because of the Roman imperial cult, he was deified. Plain and simple. This is what happened. And I know, real quickly, I know some trogs are going to be like, well, you're going to have to show me other than just you saying this. I'm so glad you said that. I'm going to give you 2 books right now. Timothy Freke, The Jesus Mysteries, and Jesus Never Existed by Kenneth Humphreys. See, here's your job, trogs. Your job is to be religious, overconfident. My job as the boogeyman is to crush that confidence. Let's not deviate from tradition. So, back to the story and the scheduled programming. So, the thing is, Josephus acquired wealth and a house from his adopted family. And a lot of things were changed thanks to Josephus. And the thing is that with peace-loving Jews, there's no threat. Not to mention now we're getting money. So Roman rulers are automatically deified as seen as a god. And there's architecture right now in Rome honoring Vespasian and his son Titus. So if Vespasian is a god and Titus is his son, he is the son of God. You putting it all together? In other words, you're not really worshiping Jesus because they control that narrative. You're worshiping Vespasian and Titus. So that's something to think about. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.